young Homer, here to guide you further into the rise and fall of Zeus. Tonight, we continue Series 9, Weaknesses, Pitfalls, and the Slow Decline of Zeus, with Episode 74, Hera's Wrath, Marital Conflict on Olympus. In this tale, we turn to Hera, Queen of Olympus and wife of Zeus, as she reaches a breaking point in her struggle against Zeus's many betrayals. Her jealousy and hurt have turned to anger, leading to bitter conflicts that shake the foundations of Olympus itself. The marital strife between Zeus and Hera spills over into the lives of gods and mortals, leaving a trail of discord and unrest. This story reminds us that even in the heavens, the pain of broken trust can lead to lasting wounds. As we step into this tale of heartache and fury, allow yourself to settle deeply into the comfort of your bed, feeling safe, grounded, and fully at rest. Close your eyes if you wish, and take a slow, deep breath in, letting calm expand through your chest, steady as the enduring patience of Hera herself. As you exhale, release any tension, allowing your body to grow heavy, sinking into stillness and peace. This is your time to unwind, to let go, and to find ease. Now, focus on the gentle rhythm of your breath, each inhale and exhale like the ebb and flow of silent waves upon a distant shore. Take a slightly deeper breath in, filling yourself with calm, and hold it softly for a moment. Then, as you exhale, feel any tightness dissolve, leaving only warmth and comfort. One more time, breathe in deeply, and as you exhale, feel yourself sinking deeper, calm and serene. Now, let's guide each part of the body to soften, inviting rest with every breath. Start with your forehead, allowing it to relax completely as you exhale. Move to your jaw, releasing any tension, letting it rest softly. Now, bring awareness to your shoulders. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, let them fall gently, as though releasing a burden that has been carried too long. Allow your arms and hands to grow heavy, resting peacefully by your sides. Notice the steady rise and fall in your chest and belly, inhaling as your belly rises, and on the exhale, releasing any last bits of tension, feeling light and free. Shift your focus to your hips and thighs, letting them sink deeper into the bed, fully supported and relaxed. And finally, bring attention to your calves, feet, and toes, allowing them to release completely, grounded and calm. Now, imagine yourself within the quiet halls of Olympus, where golden pillars rise to meet a starlit sky, but shadows linger in the corners. In the distance, you see Hera, her gaze steely, her resolve unbroken, as she confronts Zeus. Though love once bound them, bitterness and betrayal have left their mark. Her anger ripples like silent thunder through the hall, and even the gods pause, sensing the strain that now touches Olympus. With each breath, feel yourself surrounded by the calm strength of this moment, as though you too understand the weight of unspoken pain and loyalty unreturned. Inhale deeply, letting the calm and depth of the scene fill you, and exhale, feeling grounded, steady, and fully at ease. With your body relaxed and your mind open, allow the story to carry you into this world of loyalty, conflict, and resilience, where even the bonds of gods are tested by the weight of the heart. Take one last deep breath in and let it out softly. Now let us begin. As Queen of Olympus and Goddess of Marriage, Hera had long struggled with the pain of Zeus's endless infidelities. His affairs were not mere whispers or fleeting liaisons. They produced children, demigods and heroes who roamed the mortal world with their father's favor. Each new affair was a wound to Hera's pride, a reminder that her power over marriage did not extend to her own husband. Zeus's affairs left Hera feeling humiliated, her dignity tested by the very god who should have been her equal in loyalty and honor. But Hera's response was not passive. She was a goddess of unyielding resolve, and her pride demanded that she act. Her anger grew not only toward Zeus, but toward his lovers and offspring, whom she saw as symbols of her betrayal. Her wrath, however, was not erratic or uncontrolled. It was methodical, a force she wielded with precision, determined to make Zeus feel the consequences of his choices. Hera's fury was no secret on Olympus. Gods and goddesses alike knew of her anger, yet they dared not speak of it openly. Hera was more than a wife. She was the queen, and her wrath was as powerful as any god's. But the whispers grew, and the conflict between Zeus and Hera became a storm that loomed over Olympus, threatening to divide the loyalties of those who once stood united. In her fury, Hera's intentions were clear. If Zeus would not honor her, then Olympus itself would feel the cost of his betrayal. The marital strife between Zeus and Hera did not remain a private matter for long. It soon spilled over into the lives of other gods, forcing them to take sides in a conflict that none could avoid. Zeus's closest allies, like Apollo and Athena, found themselves caught between their loyalty to the king and their respect for Hera. Meanwhile, other gods, sympathetic to Hera's plight, subtly shifted their allegiance, growing resentful of Zeus's disregard for the queen's dignity. Hera's allies were many. Demeter, goddess of the harvest and an advocate for loyalty and family, was openly sympathetic, and even Artemis, known for her fierce independence, sided with Hera's values. Together, they embodied a sense of honor and fidelity that stood in stark contrast to Zeus's indiscretions. On the other hand, gods like Hermes, who valued freedom and mischief, remained more ambivalent, observing from the sidelines, unwilling to challenge Zeus's authority. This divide weakened the unity of Olympus, creating factions within the pantheon. Each god's loyalty was tested, their alliances strained by a conflict that could not be resolved by mere discussion or compromise. Zeus's pride prevented him from acknowledging Hera's grievances, while Hera's resolve to punish him left little room for reconciliation. As Olympus grew more divided, the strength of the gods' collective influence over the mortal realm began to falter. Each god focused less on their roles and more on the simmering discord that plagued their kingdom. What had once been a unified divine realm was now fractured, each god uncertain of their place in a kingdom overshadowed by marital strife. Hera's anger did not rest solely upon Zeus. It extended to those mortals and demigods who had become entangled in his affairs. Each lover of Zeus faced Hera's wrath in a uniquely crafted punishment, a reflection of Hera's precise and personal approach to vengeance. Io turned into a wandering heifer, Callisto transformed into a bear and exiled from her former life, Semele burned alive by Zeus's unveiled divinity. Each of these women suffered not only for their encounters with Zeus, but as symbols of Hera's power. Hera's vendetta extended to Zeus's children as well, especially Hercules, who faced a lifetime of hardship due to her relentless pursuit. By targeting his children, Hera reminded Zeus that his actions had consequences, that his indiscretions were not mere affairs, but betrayals with real, lasting impacts. Hercules' 12 labors, each a near impossible challenge designed to break him, were both a punishment for his father's actions and a test of his own resilience, forced upon him by Hera's unrelenting anger. To mortals, Hera became a figure of fear and respect, a goddess whose power was felt in curses and trials, each one a reminder of the strength she wielded as queen. But to the gods, her actions were seen as both justified and dangerous, a force that could potentially destabilize Olympus if left unchecked. Hera's vendetta against Zeus's lovers and children became a silent but potent conflict, one that rippled through the mortal world, challenging Zeus's authority in ways he had not anticipated. Hera's wrath was a warning to Olympus itself. Even the queen would not be dismissed or dishonored without consequence. As the conflict between Zeus and Hera deepened, the gods of Olympus began to feel the strain, each one forced to grapple with their own loyalties and beliefs. While some gods, like Apollo and Athena, tried to maintain neutrality, the tensions continued to shape the dynamics of the pantheon. The once vibrant halls of Olympus grew quieter as gods chose their words carefully, aware of the eyes and ears that watched every exchange, every look, every whisper. The younger gods especially felt the weight of the conflict, unsure of which legacy to follow. To stand with Zeus was to uphold power and authority, yet to side with Hera was to defend the values of honor and fidelity. Many gods began to question their place in Olympus, finding themselves drawn into the struggle despite their efforts to remain impartial. Even Ares, god of war, known for his volatile nature, found himself respecting Hera's fierce pride, her unwavering resolve a reflection of his own desire for battle and honor. As Olympus teetered on the brink of division, the gods realized that their own roles were becoming secondary to the conflict between king and queen. They understood that the strength of Olympus was tied to its unity, yet they also felt that this unity was threatened by Zeus's disregard for Hera's rightful status and pride. The harmony of Olympus was no longer guaranteed, each god feeling the silent but palpable strain of a kingdom divided by both loyalty and betrayal. The gods faced a choice: to remain loyal to Zeus's rule, or to acknowledge Hera's strength and support her unspoken quest for respect and justice. Zeus, despite his power and authority, found himself increasingly isolated. His refusal to acknowledge Hera's pain only fueled her resentment, and his pride prevented him from seeking a truce. In his mind, he was the king of the gods, a figure beyond reproach. Yet he could not ignore the consequences of his actions. He could see the quiet discontent among his fellow gods, the subtle shift in their loyalty, their silent judgment weighing on him. Though Zeus commanded respect, he felt the intangible, growing distance between himself and Olympus. Hera, on the other hand, saw Zeus's pride as a barrier that could never be overcome. She knew that his apologies, if they came, would be hollow, born more from a desire to maintain control than from genuine remorse. For Hera, this conflict was not just about revenge, but about respect, a respect she felt had been stripped from her with each of Zeus's affairs, each child he fathered with another woman. She would not back down, for doing so would mean relinquishing her dignity, a compromise she refused to make. Together, Zeus and Hera became symbols of a marriage built on conflict rather than unity, a partnership bound by power but torn apart by pride. Their relationship, once seen as the foundation of Olympus, now served as a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most powerful gods were not immune to the struggles of love, jealousy, and resentment. And as they drifted further apart, the gods of Olympus could see that this division was not just personal. It was a crack in the very heart of their world. Their marriage, once a symbol of divine strength, now embodied the fragility of Olympus itself. Hera's relentless pursuit of justice and respect became a burden on Olympus, casting a shadow over the realm that affected both gods and mortals. Her wrath, though directed at Zeus's indiscretions, left an impression on every corner of Olympus. It drove divisions, created allegiances, and forced even the most distant gods to choose sides. Her anger was not the erratic fury of an impulsive goddess, but a steady, calculated force that slowly wore down the unity of the gods. Mortals, too, felt the ripple effect of this conflict. Worshippers who once prayed to Zeus for strength and protection began to seek Hera's favor, honoring her resilience and viewing her as a guardian of justice. Temples devoted to Hera saw an increase in offerings as mortals recognized her as a powerful goddess with a sense of justice and pride. Zeus's influence, once unmatched, began to falter as the people grew wary of his actions, seeing in Hera a deity who, despite her wrath, embodied values that resonated deeply with their own sense of loyalty and honor. The fractures within Olympus deepened, affecting even the gods' interactions with the mortal realm. While Zeus remained powerful, he could no longer ignore the consequences of his actions. Hera's wrath had exposed the vulnerabilities of Olympus, revealing a kingdom held together not by respect, but by the fear of unraveling completely. In her pursuit of justice, Hera had shown both gods and mortals alike that Olympus was not immune to the consequences of arrogance and betrayal. In rare moments, both Zeus and Hera would reflect upon their fractured bond. They remembered the strength that once united them, the respect they once shared. Zeus, though still proud, felt the weight of his own actions, realizing that his pursuit of power and pleasure had cost him the loyalty of the one god who stood beside him through countless trials. Hera, too, felt a sense of loss, a sadness that her role as queen had been undermined by her own husband, her dignity sacrificed for the whims of a king who valued conquest over loyalty. Yet neither was willing to yield. Their reflections were brief, overwhelmed by the stubborn pride that had come to define their relationship. They had become symbols of Olympus's own struggle, a kingdom built on loyalty but fractured by pride, a realm that held power but lacked unity. Their marriage, once a beacon of divine strength, now represented the weaknesses of Olympus itself. In their silent reflections, both Zeus and Hera understood that the damage had been done, that the foundation of Olympus had been weakened not by an external force, but by the internal conflict between king and queen. And though they would continue to rule, the shadow of their discord would haunt Olympus, marking the beginning of a slow but inevitable decline. In their pride, neither could forgive, and Olympus bore the weight of their unresolved conflict. But Hera's wrath was only one part of the kingdom's unraveling. Join us in the next episode as we delve into Zeus's obsession with control, a fixation that would drive him to overextend his reach, leading to new conflicts and unforeseen consequences. Discover how the king's desire for absolute power would push Olympus to its limits, challenging both gods and mortals in ways he had never foreseen. Until we meet again, may your path be filled with peace, strength, and a touch of magic. I'm young Homer, and I look forward to our next story together.